moments before Benin's Minister of Mines making an announcement to temporarily lift his country's blockade of Niger's oil in the evening of May 15, 2024, after fresh tripartite discussions that involved China, the Beninese parliamentarians, through their various parliamentary groups, had expressed their solidarity with President Patrice Talon's decision to impose that blockade. The legislators, through the country's two biggest political parties, that's the Republican Bloc and the Progressive Union for Renewal, argued that Benin was basically being scapegoated by Niger, and that the accusations that Benin was hosting foreign military bases with the intentions to destabilize Niger are outrightly fabricated lies. That, in any case, Benin has been a good neighbor to Niger over the years, and the closure of its borders to Niger in the aftermath of the July 26, 2023 coup d'état was only Benin's implementation of ECOWAS sanctions that were affected by all ECOWAS members, and without saying much, take a listen at what they had to say. The subsequent opening of our country's borders with our neighbor, as well as the numerous steps initiated by the government of Benin towards the authorities of Niger, since September 2023, are irrefutable proof of the will of the head of the state, Patrice Talon, to renew ties with our brother country Niger.
Patrice Talon a renoué les liens avec notre pays frère, le Niger. Malheureusement,
unfortunately, it is clear that the Nigerian authorities have kept their land borders closed with regard to our country, after having opened them with regard to Nigeria and others, citing unfounded reasons relating to an alleged installation of foreign military bases on the Beninese territory. The Progressive Union for Renewal's parliamentary group regrets this attitude and contempt of the Nigerian authorities towards our country, which has done nothing other than apply in the same way as Nigeria a community decision taken by virtue of the texts to which the member countries have joined, including the sister Republic of Niger. Our parliamentary group also condemns the regrettable and misleading remarks constantly made by the leaders of Niger in search of a scapegoat, with regard to the authorities and the Beninese state for the purposes of manipulating national and international opinion, and which are clumsily amplified on social networks. The Progressive Union for Renewal parliamentary group supports the government for having taken note of Niger's continued closure of its border by subsequently ordering the suspension of loading by ship in our territorial waters of crude oil produced by the Republic of Niger.
Du pétrole brut produit par la République du Niger.
Notre pays,
our country, it should be remembered, has argued at length for the lifting of the sanctions decided against Niger, if only for humanitarian reasons. Then there was Benin's promptness to reopen its borders as soon as the sanctions were lifted by ECOWAS. Finally, it is the availability shown by the government for the relaunch of cooperation between our two states, through the sending of messages to the Nigerian leaders, and above all by dispatching its head of diplomacy year after year. Unfortunately, all these proofs of good will remain unchanged. At this stage, it seems essential to us to recall that Benin, at the origin of the crisis, had only closed its border by virtue of ECOWAS decisions that were taken on the basis of the Treaty of Protocols and Conventions ratified by all member states.
Les sanctions décidées
The sanctions decided and applied by ECOWAS are not new, but in the present case, Niger has fixated on Benin by wrongly accusing it of wanting to wage war.
sur le Bénin en l'accusant à tort de vouloir lui faire la guerre. Aujourd'hui encore,
Even today, it is with amazement that the Beninese note that after the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions and the opening of the borders for all, Niger continues to keep only the Benin border closed.
des frontières par tous, le Niger continue de garder fermée seulement la frontière du Bénin. Chers collègues,
Dear colleagues, you understand with me that there is clearly a total inconsistency with the borders of Niger and the confinements that we experience in our country.
et les informations que nous connaissons sur notre pays. Cette situation interpelle
This situation concerns all Beninese people.
pour nous. Le Bénin
For us, Benin is seen as a scapegoat for the situation that Niger is going through,
la situation que traverse le Niger. Car réellement,
because there's really no security threat linked to the presence of foreign troops in Benin, and this just explains Niger's attitude.
le groupe parlementaire bloc républicain
The Republican Bloc Parliamentary Group expresses from this platform its total solidarity with the position of our government in this Niger oil pipeline affair.
dans cette affaire de pipeline pétrolier du Niger.